Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Heroes Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Simwaski Winter between the west, north, and north we got Jamin. Fighting here for the Wehrmacht for the 1st Panzer Division here, with elite troops immediately chosen. And Infantry Company start versus in the south we got Denchips. I'll just call him Denchips because that's going to be a lot easier to pronounce. Fighting here for the Soviet Union for the 242nd Rifle Division versus with elite troops here versus tank hunters, conscript support, and reserve. I mean, conscript support certainly does not see a lot of uses, though it's basically, also like reserve. I'm very focused on the infantry, though, with a few other additions like hit the dirt and incendiary artillery barrages. He's also got all infantry bulletins, so it's pretty clear that Denchips is going to be going for an awful lot of conscripts. As for Jamin, it's kind of be hard to say today. It's got Tigers bullets, he's got 2 Panther 4 bullets as well. We've got double grenadiers out here with no MG42s for Jamin here. In the early moments of the game, Jamin here, basically Jamin Rock, a rather veteran player, but I think he's been on a bit of a break there, but will soon be returning. Also, another note, there's been no update for the balanced PO mod this week, after they sort of last week took away a lot of the changes there, which makes me suspect, I mean, obviously this is a guess, no hard evidence here, just speculation, that we might soon be seeing the balance patched and hit if they're sort of drawing back on things and then not opting the balance preview mode. This could very well indicate they might be preparing to sort of release some of the more vital changes there and then sort of continue with another balance preview mod shortly after. So that is some speculation there for me on that matter. We got conscript moving ahead here against the Grenadiers though. Sandbags up here already in the centre. Good job there by Denchips. Movement in the south and a bit of movement here overall. We can also see the Jamin is sort of aggressively spreading out here with the Grenadiers and Pioneers going for the centre, south and north. Rushing for both viewpoints. A bit of shooter here between Grenadiers, conscripts in the centre. 3rd Grenadiers got there for Jamin, so he's going heavy on infantry, similar to his Russian opponent. While we're used to increasingly seeing more Russian players going heavy on the conscripts, by the way, it's certainly made a bit of a comeback there. For the Wehrmacht, it still tends to be a bit rarer, but Jamin definitely seems to be sort of pushing in that angle so far there. And certainly with the elite troops, it is one of the doctrines sort of better supported with G43s and concussive grenades for the Grenadiers. Generally, though, Grenadiers tend to be one of the less supported infantry doctrinally, though. We can, of course, also later support with stormtroopers if he wants to. But northern fuel pump being secured, southern fuel pump there being held by Grenadiers. 2 Grenadier squads here in the centre. Conscript ready to push forward. Grenadiers quickly occupying the house. There we go, Jürgen. Shoots him while out in the open. I said while out in the open, not. No, don't shoot them while they're out in the open. Shoot them while they are there, idiot. Floating down the unit here, halfway before an active again, popping there the stun grenade. Well, basically, I think it's just a regular grenade because the Model 24 shield hand grenade, it was a concussive grenade. It didn't rely on fragmentation, it relied just on, well, the explosive shock force there, the concussion. Of course, it could be upgraded to have fragmentation sort of properties by adding a fragmentation sleeve to it. Guys, they're taking none of the losses. Up north here, Pioneers versus Engineers. Close quarters engagement up in the northern woods. Looks like the Pioneers will be winning out. That's one here versus Engineers, so it's going to be pretty close here for Jamin's men. In the centre, the Grenadiers continue fighting. There we go. We do have the concussive grenades up there for Jamin, increasing his firepower. Close, they're beginning some to deal with rations that get in too close. And that way also help deal with the blobs, since it's also a pretty decent blob weapon if your opponent again is bobbing about. They also tend to mean they're not good with infantry, that means your concussive grenades will have quite an effect. But there we go, we got a Molotov off, but there we go, not before he pops a grenade and return on the conscripts, stunning them up there and slowing down any of his advance. At the same time, he's managed to secure the sandbag position here, claiming it from the Russians. The conscripts there will need to retreat. And he's actually now going for MG42s. 2 MG42s after the 3 Grenadiers. So that's a somewhat regular build here. 3 Grenadiers, 2 MG42s. We see it from some Wehrmacht players. In the meanwhile, no tech up there yet for Jamin. Fight here for the Western Pioneers will need to retreat right on the spot. They're not going to last much longer here. And meanwhile, we've still got the 4 conscript squads there for Denchips with the Molotovs on them. Very good decision there. By the way, some players neglect getting Molotovs when they go for a lot of conscripts, but Molotovs really adds a lot to the conscripts, allowing them to deny cover and housing. Fun fact about the 1st Panzer Division is, well, it was a reasonably elite division. Obviously doesn't get talked about as much, but for example, doing the advance on Moscow, doing Operation Typhoon, it actually had 2 battalions worth of armoured half-tracks, which was pretty rare. I mean, most at that point would have usually maybe had, if they're luckier battalion, always they'd have 1 company's worth of, armoured half-tracks. So in that regard, the 1st Panzer Division stood out, well, quite heavily. I don't know how much about sort of later in the war, though. He generally doesn't get so much talked about there, despite being the first. And usually any sort of first was usually considered pretty good. For example, the first infantry division was sort of considered an elite one. But Grenadiers being pushed back by conscripts. We got more MD42 here on the eastern side coming across point there. Denchips has secured the sun fuel. We got medic bunkers up there. We have no tech up yet for Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division, 242nd Rifle Division running northwards there. Point being secured. MD4 sitting up against the conscripts out in the open. Covering the fuel point for the fatherland with heavy machine gun fire. We've got a conscript there rushing in from the south. Ready to flush out the MD42 because Jamin's machine gun is not going to be able to turn about there. And he's actually going for 4 Grenadiers and 2 MD42s. That is a very heavy tier 1 there for Jamin. Very heavy tier 1. Rather risky if his opponent managed to rush ahead there for vehicles. Then again, the emphasis on the fuel might help slow down Denchips. But still, that is pretty risky. That is pretty risky, in particular since it's not exactly been taking up very fast. So I'm wondering here what it is Jamin is planning. I mean, this heavy tier 1, you may think he's actually planning then a tier 3 rush, which tends to be rare for the Wehrmacht because they're really difficult to pull off. And still, you know, actually have an advantage. I mean, you can see some players try, but the problem is, timing-wise, it ends up making no difference because it's so difficult for the Wehrmacht to take up anyways without tier 2 support in some cases that they generally just end up having the same amount of time spent and the amount of resources, except, you know, they don't have a tier 2 then to sort of support it. And of course, with elite troops, he can support himself with stormtroopers and Panzerschrecks. So that's a theoretical possible there for Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division. Central victory point there being secured. In the north, they're going to lead securing territory, and here we got conscripts securing territory. Overall, we can see Jamin's lost a lot of ground. He might want to consider. I mean, if he's going for this many Grenadiers, I mean, if he actually is planning a tier 3 rush, I think he should consider command bunkers. That way, support them at the front line. You know, ensure they don't have to retreat as much, because otherwise, what tends to be the problem with a lot of these Grenadier heavy builds is, you know, they tend to very quickly run out of steam due to the fact that Grenadiers are only 4 men. So you rather need something to support them, and if it's not a half track, it's going to have to be a command bunker. So that's definitely I think something that Jamin needs to consider here versus Denchips. Finding around the centre, 2 Grenadier squad services and conscripts in the church. Securing the eastern half of the map. Fuel panel secure, but we got conscripts on the job there right away. So right now, Denchips are quickly getting ahead in terms of fuel versus Jamin. We got a Molotov against the house. Forcing them out into the open. Up here, nothing further. And back here, we got a support room company being built here by Denchips and the 242nd Rifle Division. Securing the cut-off point here. Victory point secured. Almost got the munitions well there with the MD42 and the likes. Spreading a bit out to the north, leaving a centre a bit more weak. And can actually go for stormtroopers now to support his infantry. Watch it again. That would mean a lot of infantry. I mean, 5 infantry support for the Wehrmacht would be pretty rare. Not necessarily bad, just really, really rare. He's also going for some light machine guns. So that definitely means he can't, for example, go for a stormtrooper squad with some assault rifles right off the bat, though, which I think would be pretty great. But he's just calling a stormtrooper squad here, quickly infiltrating and hitting the northern points there. Grenadiers here with Pioneer support pushing up against the conscripts there. Finding in the centre as well. There's a lot of action all over the place actually right now with all this infantry out in the field. Few points, victory points, cut-off points, you name it, points. MD42 advancing, you can see the Jamin's pushing back here against Denchips in the early game. And he's probably gone for doctrine. It is conscript support tactics. I haven't seen that one used in quite some time, to be honest. It just tends to not register in most people's radars. But if you're going for a lot of conscripts, I mean, conscript support tactics makes sense. I mean, for example, he's got 5 conscript squads. Conscript support works magic with that because they can get them hit the dirt, submachine guns, they can repair, you can rapid conscripting to keep up the numbers without having to spend a ton of manpower, freeing up resources for other things. Plus you got Incendiary Artillery. I mean, it's a pretty solid doctoral choice here for Denchips, and a rare one as well, though, so that makes it even more exciting here. We've got concentration against the MD42, they're getting sawed apart by the MD42. They got Petrov and the Alexander. This is terrible. Fighting in the centre, going to leave being pushed back there. The conscripts up north, they're more territory, more harassment here though. Good work there by Denchips. You could try and dig in with sandbags and try and hold the line there. Then again, he's got hit the dirt. So you could in theory try and use that. Another hoorah here against the MD42, but Pioneers are trying to stall the way. The MD42 turns about. Will be able to saw apart the conscript. There we go. Caught out in the open below, firing at the wrong ones. And there we go. They got off a Molotov against the MD42. Puts it away in the nick of time. Northern point there being secured. I mean, Jamin is using his infantry as much as possible just to push on a broad front. It's a bit more risky as the Wehrmacht. If he pulls it off, though, it can be very successful. He has teched up, but he's not doing it, so it could be that Jamin is actually planning a tier 3 rush as the Wehrmacht. In which case, there needs to be fast about it because he can actually pull it off. But the problem is, again, as a Wehrmacht, you generally have to do a lot more work to sort of pull off any rush. You can't just build the building. You have to research, then build, or research, then build. And it's really the research part, plus, of course, then pulling someone back to build this stuff that can sort of trip up a lot of Wehrmacht players. And I haven't seen Wehrmacht or Jamin here playing a bit in a while, so it might be sort of also a bit unusuality there. But still, he's definitely sort of swinging hard there with an unusual strategy. And Denchips, again, I wouldn't say it's too unusual. Again, we're seeing a lot more conscript-heavy builds, but using conscript support tactics to support it is a bit more novel, but not in the sort of, haha, how silly, it's haha. I wonder why more people haven't thought of that one before. Which is sort of the less amused haha and the more worried ha ha ha. They're learning ha ha ha, Anyways, constantly pushing ahead with some machine guns. Stormtroopers, they need to fall back without assault rifles. They don't have anything to re-halt them with. Grenadiers, they're firing away there from the windows. With Pioneers sort of coming up their approach as well. You could lay down some barbed wire, for example, to make it a bit harder to push forward through. Damage being done there. Grenadiers doing what they can there. Closing inventions one. We got conscript, they're retreating past. We got a TC in the way there for Denchips. And again, Jamin hasn't teched up. I mean, actually at this point, again, he's got so much fuel. He could have teched up by now. Has a Palmer crop by now. And he could actually have an Osman or Stug out by now. Roughly. So in that regard, I mean, Jamin, who clearly looks planning for a T3 rush, is a bit lacking in the execution department of it. It's certainly timing wise. They're good sector research, but it's now only in response to the T70. I mean, he could actually have something out probably around the 10-minute mark. So in that regard, I mean, it's clearly working. He just needs to work on it a bit there in that regard. We also got a ton of submachine guns that are being handed up to Denchips men. In the south, the MD-42 with conscript getting flanked here by another unit of engineers, but in this case, the MD-42 covering here, puts it away. Good job there, engineers fighting from inside the church, desperate fighting. And the T-70 actually rolls ahead again there with a damaged engine. Stormtroopers there, could be equipped with a Panzer to sort of help deal with armor until he gets up to his armor zone. Or he could, of course, just wait with assault rifles and deal with the conscript with the submachine guns that way, because a lot of conscript with submachine guns quickly become a problem for Jamin, in particular with hit the dirt, which basically gives them light cover wherever they sort of hit the dirt with. That can actually give them an edge up if he pulls off a good hoorah and then hits the dirt right in front of the Germans. But of course, the fun fact about the Third Army is as the war progressed, they sort of got more and more heavily equipped with submachine guns. I mean, by 1944-45, about half of their weapons would have been submachine guns. And where initially sort of, they had specific sort of submachine gun companies, which they would still stick with. Increasingly, though, it just became more and more the normal that, they were heavily equipped with PPSH-41 submachine guns. So a little fun fact there. I mean, there was generally sort of, as the war progressed, more and more emphasis on just much automatic firepower on the men, but the how they approached it, of course, was a bit different. For the Germans, it was assault rifle, for example. For the Russians, just a lot of submachine guns. Bit of fighting here, Grenadiers versus conscripts here. Grenadiers taking man losses, though. Heavy fire there being directed by them. More moving up here. And we got a T-70 striking southwards, but the MD-42s are without any support, though. We're not, by the way, a Panzer here and the Stormtroopers forming up a small anti-tank team here. Grenadiers without any heavy machine gun support. It's going to fall back, but there you go. We got a concussive grenade. The conscript was straight to it. Both squads stunned. We need to pull back, though. He pops another one and gets a bit more damage off. But there you go. We got more conscripts forming forth. Denchips just keep throwing man in it. And the south of the MD-42s lost that. Bit of a loss there for Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division. You got a Panzer IV on the way, and again, I do think he could out something, several minutes sooner. In that regard, that's, again, I'm putting that one down to, again, just being rushed here, and even then, tactically he's pulling off this. It's more of a strategic rust than I think sort of overall rust. I mean, it's still pretty impressive if Jamin pulled off. It's just, he could have pulled off a bit more, if he just, paid a bit more attention here, but obviously, a lot going on the front line as well. I also think you should consider some regular Stormtroopers with assault rifles to support his men. I mean, any player who doesn't go for at least one Stormtrooper squad with assault rifles, I think is doing something wrong in my personal, humble opinion. MD-42 they're secure though, but now Denchips is pushing back here with a severe counterattack versus Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division. Panzer IV there done for Jamin, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Grenadiers setting out. The common models of 1944-45 would have been the Model H and the Model J. The Model H was sort of the more complete model. The Model J was essentially sort of the slightly easier to make and also cut down on model due to a lack of resources. T-70 sitting ahead, hit on the knees. MG42 pushing again, engineers that are trying to hold a corner house, but the Panzer IV gets off an excellent hit there. T-70 nearby, needs to be careful though. Got one field gun here though for Denchips. Good choice there. Pioneers under fire. Jamin though is striking back here hard with the first Panzer Division here. T-70 tries to escape here, the Panzer IV. Securing the centre here again, making good use of the sandbags provided by Denchips previously, early in the fight. Northern points. He's actually building up a machine gun bunker to cover the CoH point here for the munitions and the victory point. Now that's an interesting decision there by Jamin. An interesting decision. Not what I put it myself, but I wouldn't call it bad either. It's just a bit strange. And right now the consist gun is being overwhelmed. They're going to get wiped here. They're going to get wiped. Too many conscripts with too many submachine guns. There go annihilated. He got the T-70 here with the Panzer IV though, sunk it in the ice. In fact, it got slightly cut off somehow, and then just easily sunk there. So a bit of a loss there for Denchips, a small victory there for Jamin's Panzer IV crew. Machine gun bunker there, well obviously not upgraded, so it might as well be in a party bunker. Ja, willkommen to party bunker. Ah, scheiße, wrong party. Communist party, get out! This is National Socialist Party only. Anyways, points there being secured. We got an Osman on the way there for Jamin, a flak panzer. Field gun number 2 on the way there for Denchips. Support is hardened and beleaguered. Russian conscripts. Transport doing what it can there. Some infantry support would be great. In particular, some infantry with Sturmgewehrs. Damage engine there. Field gun moving up. He needs to rush some infantry up support there. We got a single grenadier squad here. He needs to get the LMG team up as well. And the MD42 is all the way in the east to try to get back territory there. But he needs to rush as much support he can over to the Panzer IV here before it's too late. Concussive grenades are being flung, and there you go, catches the conscripts out in the open. LMG team that remains within the church. Perhaps singing a nice little song. Machine gun bunker could actually end up serving as a distraction here for Denchips, allowing the Panzer IV their chance to get away. But there you go, flak panzer out here for Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division. Pioneers standing about here in the south, engineers moving westwards.
Taking what we have secured.
Showing a lot of pressure on Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division, but again, there's a lot of back and forth here and some interesting action, I think. Flak Panzer there moving ahead with its 37mm flak. Also, the 1st Panzer Division apparently had some humour doing a operation around Rzeszow there on the march to Moscow. There's a request to the Panzer Corps they were subordinated to, requesting if they could clarify towards the CoH they currently are running who had the right of way. And the High Command in this case acting said, well, you know, you got the right of way. Kindly enforce it. Which of course the authors described as a hilarious conversation, and certainly was a bit fun, but I don't know. There's something slightly odd when an author refers to something as a hilarious conversation and it involves overrunning someone. But you know, admittedly, if you're a bit of a twisted person like I am, it is funny. There you go, grenadiers for G43 pushing ahead. There we got the Osman supporting. Constant there taking flak fire, constant pushing ahead. He needs to pull back the grenadiers. There's simply too many Russians with too many submachine guns. Again, they can provide a lot of firepower with it. Pushing up here as well, storms from nearby. He has power to upgrade them with G43s, which he can do, which he does have that bit there. Panzer IV rolling about. Need to be careful, he's pushing his Panzer IV pretty far in there. They've got 2 field guns and not enough in support. He's moving up the Ostwind. Of course, there's also a lot of conscripts. I've wiped the unit there inside the house. But the problem is, his Panzer IV and a lot of artillery getting pelted with a lot of anti-tank grenades. He pops smokes there. He needs to clear out the field gun there, though. He needs to get behind it, by the way. Gun shields do provide cover for the units. It actually becomes harder to kill it for the Ostwind. We just moved up. They moved up to support it. The problem is the grenadiers nearby aren't helping. Neither are the stormtroopers, which are also right next nearby. He could be doing a lot there to help deal with the field guns. And there you go, losing the Panzer IV here. Not a good engagement there for Jamin, in particular since he can be recruited. I mean, he got some kills overall. He's actually done a lot of damage. The problem is, of course, he's still got a lot of conscripts. And there you go, he lost the Ostwind as well. So that was not the best engagement there for Jamin. Rushing in his tanks there with no infantry support, despite actually having a lot of infantry nearby to support it. Had he done that, I think he'd be able to clear out the field guns and deal with infantry in a much more efficient manner. So
losing a sector.
There you go. But it's time here for the mid-game analysis. In terms of damage, they're pretty close kills-wise. Jamin, though, has got a big, fat lead. In terms of arm value, he's certainly hit. But again, we can sort of see here where the two panzers go kaput. Is actually now below Denchips, who's now got much more infantry. In fact, he's lost the Grenadier squad, plus an MG42 and several anti-tank weapons. Resource cloak-wise, they're close to each other in points held. I mean, initially, Denchips and the 242nd held firmly for the motherland, but now it's sort of more Deutschland, a bit über alles. Well, a lot here, and then less über alles, and a bit more here, again, doing a bit more, positivity. But still, I mean, Jamin is struggling with the loss of the Panzer IVs. A lot of map control will be lost there because he lost a lot of armor. I mean, again, had he had, say, some stormtroopers with assault rifles supporting here, or just the other infantry, I think, Jamin would have a much more stronger hand versus Denchips in that engagement. So I think was a critical tactical error there by Jamin, rushing in tanks with 0 infantry support against field guns with a lot of infantry support, which is generally where you don't want to send your tanks in the first place. So there, Jamin got rather soundly, I think, punished by Denchips and the 242nd Rifle Division. Jamin overall, get some stormtroopers out, at least get some fuel cache to help cut the armor, but otherwise stormtroopers, get some assault rifles on them, get some stormtroopers out. They'll certainly help transform all these conscripts with the PPSH-41s with the drum magazine, which by this point I'm pretty sure would have been firmly replaced with a stick magazine. That's a fun fact. Well, stormtroopers, fuel caches, get out some more armor, and don't rush it straight into sort of a tank kill zone like that one again. Mines here and there could be helpful, and I think some machine gun bunkers around here maybe would serve him better than rather closer to the opponent's space, as an example there for Jamin. But Osman, he's doing quite well there again. He just needs to work on sort of the strategy part there, and not throw away tanks for that aim support, and of course stormtroopers with assault rifles. I mean, really, they are one of the prime reasons to go for this doctrine. Not the target race, stormtroopers with assault rifles is where it's at. Trust me. As for Denchips, more infantry pressure, trying to flank about more. He's a bit too keen on sort of fighting out the head-on with Jamin at times, which occasionally works out, but at the same time, can bleed him out frightfully much if he's not using rapid conscription to support him, and so far, he isn't. So that's something that Denchips needs to keep in mind. Tech up for more armor there. Bigger armor, of course, would also, I think, be a strong choice there for Denchips very soon before it becomes, too much of a problem in that way, and Jamin just brings up too much armor to counter him. But I'll have more emphasis here, and I think a few mines here and there for Denchips would also do well. Maybe a mortar for some light artillery support. But let's return to the fight and see what happens here. Stormtroopers being pushed back. Osman there on the way again. I mean, he's got a lot of interest for his opponents. Obviously, an Osman here makes a lot of sense. As long as he doesn't, throw it away like the first one in the Panzer IV. It's not exactly something, the German Panzerwaffe can afford in losses if he keeps it up like that.
We are losing supplies.
MG42 moving ahead here. Southern points being secured. Russians rapidly search forward to secure the centre. He's grabbing the northern victory point. He's overall trying to keep a bleed there on Denchips. Back here, enforcement healing going on. Osman almost down there for Jamin. Almost, but not quite.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Grenadiers, they're halfway to Wetzency 3.
Ostwind ready for deployment.
And we got the flak panzer on the way there for Jamin. Bit of fighting here, got a rush on the house. They're going to easily retreating up here. The Pioneers all need to consider getting out of there soon.
Not let up.
There you go, the country's cut down. Didn't stand much of a chance with the G43 equipped Grenadiers. Flak panzer moving out there. Grenadiers sent running, Pioneers sent running as well. They're pretty close for the Grenadiers. They were cut down here by the conscripts and the engineers. We got the flak panzer, which could, try and, cover the retreat of the units. Maybe stop Denchips from grabbing the fuel point there, and that way also ensure more of a fuel advantage for Jamin, because that's one of the things he's had. But again, he'd rather manage to negate it very quickly by throwing away those two tanks. But there you go, engineers push back. In the south here, got too close to the machine gun bunkers here. Troops being suppressed as heavy caliber rounds fly above their heads. Country there roaring about. Country there, we got Grenadiers moving up, could flush them out with a concussive grenade. Or in this case, they just rush out to try and cut them down up close. Of course, a concussive grenade then up close works out nicely. In this case, they get Alpha too close. Still, both into retreating, got pushed forward. Stormtroopers need to retreat though. Again, without assault rifles, that is definitely not the sort of engagement they want to conduct at all. We got two field guns moving up, going to try and hunt down the Ostwind. You should have probably seen that, so you're going to have to go and get the Ostwind out of there. He's still floating a lot of manpower. I hope at this point Jamin isn't actually aiming for the Tiger Race at this stage. The Tiger Race should either be sort of a last resort, or, you know, preferably sort of more of a, you know, a finisher. And right now, Jamin, you know, needs to actually set up for a finisher if that's what he's planning. So he needs more infantry on the field, some more stormtroopers, or something else, you know, fuel, catch to fight more fuel, or just, you know, more tanks. He doesn't, you know, get wrecked. You can see that Denchips quickly screw on the western half of the map, digging in there. You should consider some mines in there, though. Even flagship mines could do a lot there in terms of reconnaissance. We've got take up there for Denchips in the 242nd. Tank with tank command going, or mechanized armor company. That's a tankery. But so it's going to go for T-3476s to support his infantry versus the vile fascist tanks. That is definitely a strong choice there by Denchips. A very strong choice there. But I'm surprised I haven't seen really any mines there from Denchips. And he's going here for a second Austrian. At this point, though, I mean, Jamin might want to be a bit more cautious about, you know, his opponent's potential actually getting out tanks here. He's only got one Panzerschreck here at the moment to deal with any T-34s. I mean, you can't keep assuming he's got a, you know, so fuel advantage there. So, I mean, right here, Jamin might make a mistake. And obviously, from our perspective, we know he's making a mistake there, but I mean, from a logical standpoint, even then, you know, 23 minutes in the match, even the assault opponent, you've been able to keep the fuel off for some point there. He's going to be able to get out a tank. So at this point, going for double Ostwinds is ill-advised, in particular when there's also two field gun support they're already supporting. Field gun enemy perspective, got the infantry coming from here. Heavy fighting in the centre, got Molotovs going off left and right, submachine gun bullets flying all across there, causing a kill zone there. Pioneers wiped, but almost got the country there. Can you get a wipe though? Certainly how about Jamin and... No! So close, there we go, got a wipe. Ostwind striking through here, engaging the maximum there, constantly pulling off anti-tank grenades. Out in the open, they've got a field gun nearby, there we go, getting some kills on the MD-42 crew out in the open. Almost wiping it here though, constantly push back, got grenades map support here, good work. Could actually get the MD-42 back, plus clear out the field gun. We got a T-34 rushing hit though. There's going to be bad news. His second Ostwind arrives just as the T-34 hits. Field gun wipe. Might want to get a recruit, then turning against the T-34. Other Ostwind rushing in towards the centre here, isolating itself from the rest of the unit. Could here connect with anti-tank grenades. That's going to happen. Almost got. There we go. Wiped the country. Got another huge loss here for Denchips. Country there taking staggering casualties. You should still recruit the field gun there and bring the Ostwind towards. But there you go. T-34 getting the Ostwind. The other Ostwind. Is he rushing it towards the base? I think he is. I think he's going to use it as bait to save the other Ostwind. He's recruited the field gun though. That's good. I would have figured he'd try and bait it into that. But there we go. He's basically threatening to wipe out as much of Denchips' infantry inside the base as possible. There you go. Gets another wipe there. It's a lot of wipes in a matter of moments. He's lost 3 conscript squads in a short span of time. He could end up losing more. He's training a lot of conscript replacements, but still, that is a lot of infantry dead. And oh no, the Ostwind gets abandoned within the base there. That actually could give Denchips their chance of getting back in there, fighting hard. And then he throws away his Ostwind. Why would you do that, Jamin? Oh well. You still got a lot of manpower. You can still bring out armour, though. And I wish he'd spend the manpower a bit more efficiently in the first place, rather than floating about there again. I'm not agreeing with a sort of persistent large manpower float. I definitely think that's allowing Denchips too much resource floats as you get back in a fight. But there you go. Getting the flak pans there, paired conscript, and he's working on it. Oh, look at this, Sergei. I'm cool. Yes, yes, just keep an eye out for any fascists. But look at me, so cool. Yes, yes, no one cares. Fixing up the T-3476, MD-42 covering the southern approach. Stormtroopers waiting over the centre. And he actually goes for the Tiger Ace here. I mean, he has done a lot of damage there to Denchips. In theory, he could pull off that he handles the Tiger Ace correctly. But he could also backfire. We'll have to see how it works out here. But I would have advised him to at least get the Grenadiers reinforced first. I mean, he hasn't even bothered reinforcing most of them, so they're basically working with a lot of half-size squads there with this Tiger Ace, which honestly strikes me as a bit of a greedy decision there by Jamin. I mean, this is pretty much sort of the war's going to be over for Christmas anyways. I don't have to worry about this. This is the sort of decision that can end up biting you in the arse if your opponent pulls off a sufficiently strong defense there. Machine gun here, get wiped by the Tiger Ace, moves ahead here, and there we go. Collapses the entire place, annihilating the unit. To the south there, Ostwind, commanded by Russians, engaging the MD-42. That's going to get a wipe there. That's going to get a wipe, I think. Oh, scheiße, that's one of ours, or at least it used to be. Comes down under fire from the Tiger. And wiped. That's 2 wipes there. T-Fed from against here by the Tiger. Ace's 88mm gun. The expert crew landing shot after shot. Osman engaging the east field gunner gets a good hit though. Needs to be careful, could easily be flanked. He needs to get the stormtrooper up to support it, but he's not. Tiger Ace could try and rush here from the west towards the east to support, or maybe the centre, but he's not. Stormtrooper engaging engineers out in the open. Concussive grenade. They dodge it though. Field gunner going to get wiped out at this rate. Ace is not moving there towards the east to support. So he's going to get repaired first. We'll grab the fuel pond there. Engineers there. We got the Osman there. Nice flank here by Denchips. Going through the fenced area there to bypass the field gun and wipe it. 5 kills on the Soviet Ostwind.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
It is no longer the Ostwind, it is now the Stalin wind. How does that even make sense?
The sector has been cut off.
And now sending in his Tiger Ace to unsupported now. Bit risky there by Jamin again, that's what we need to be careful about. Gunners being assaulted again, their half squad measure there means they're going to be pretty weak again. I do think Jamin there a bit off more could you, but there you go, straight here for the Ostwind, or the Stalin wind, whatever you prefer. Wind. Almost got it here though. Field gun setting up here. Ostwind can survive one more hit. There we go, dead. Denchips was not able to save it. Got a field gun there with a T-54 covering the centre. Tiger Ace rolling back with 8 kills for the fatherland so far. But again, depleted infantry force here defending the west. That's going to be easy kills here for the T-34 76. And again, that's going to force the Tiger Ace to move from the east towards the west there, cross the ice. Going to be very bad if he gets caught on it, because there's going to be take very little effort to then sink the Ace into this bottom of the lake. At which point I'm pretty sure Jamin's going to be very, very sad if that happens. We got more T-34s with Denchips. A part of me would think, you know, HD5 versus the Ace, but it seems pretty confident to do with just T-34s and a field gun. Ace moving up there from east to west, and there we go southwards, then towards the T-34, shoots, misses. Misses again. You're supposed to be good at this, Ace. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to be the best.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Gonna just need to retreat though. They're gonna get wiped, aren't they? Yeah. Tiger Ace are taking hits there from the field guns to the rear. Let's go. There we got another T-34 there for Denchips. Could bring up more tanks versus the Tiger Ace, trying to, of course, hit Jamin where it hurts, which, of course, is resource-wise. There we go. Gunner is wiped. Jamin, in this case, punished for, extending a lot of, well, half-strength infantry squads. That was definitely not the sharpest moment there of Jamin. And the thing is, you can't just afford to do nothing with the Tiger Ace, because the longer it's just doing nothing, the more of a resource advantage his opponent's going to get. I mean, really, he needs to be active with the Tiger Ace. He needs to aim for doing as much damage as possible every time before he repairs it. Otherwise, he's just bleeding out. The Tiger Ace is powerful, but it's pretty much also just attrition, sort of, for you in one unit. It will just bleed you out if you do not use it efficiently and, actively. So you can't really just afford to about they're doing nothing, because again, at this point, his opponent getting a lot more resources than he is. He's going for another Ostwind, not a Stug or a Pentavolt support his Tiger Ace, but he's going for an Ostwind here, sending a lot of info about it could make sense. Conscript rushing forward, saying to Grenadier fire there, T-54 standing about. Almost got the Ace functional. More T-54 rushing through the centre. Demo charge there. Stormtroopers hiding.
Flak Panzer has arrived.
Flak Panzer ready there for Jamin and the 1st Panzer Division. Tiger is almost good to go. More field guns for Denchips. Of course, with the Tiger Ace about that certainly makes an awful lot of sense. Got the 3rd Ostwind out there for Jamin. Actually, that might be his 4th. That is actually his 4th Ostwind. And he's gone for 4 Ostwinds in this fight. Certainly strikes me as a bit extreme. Gonna need to be careful, need to achieve a flamethrower there against Engineers. Ostwind takes the route here with Promise without any sort of serious support there. It can easily become a target for T-34s. Got the Ace moving ahead here towards the centre. Comes with a bit of trouble with the Ace moving in. Got the Ostwind also here, and he's straight onto the demo charge. Oh dear, but it's not being set off here. He might be hoping there to try and set it off with other means, so that is Denchips, but if you can set off a demo charge with other means like that, he ends up doing a lot more damage, by the way, than otherwise. Otherwise, you just do 200 damage. But there you go, there we go, got one T-34, got one T-34, victory there from Germany, a small one. Stormtroopers hanging back, got a T-34, they're watching on the central victory point. Putting back the aces immediately for repairs, so they're just trying to get a bit more damage in. Stormtroopers then moving towards the central victory point, and they're going to get wiped off here. Yup, annihilated. Quite a loss there to the German army. Some of the 1st Panzer Division's most experienced veterans blew up there. Finally from the northern field, they've got engineers bringing plus 1 T-34 already being dispatched there to deal with it before it becomes a bigger problem there. That's going to require more resources from Denchips anyways.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
In the south there, Canadians versus Conch got another T-34. They've got the Ace moving ahead here. Osman supporting. T-34 going flanked. Osman moving up here. Could he deal with the Os? The field gun if it doesn't get up right in front of it. T-34's up there. T-34 quickly pulling back. Pioneer supporting here. Oh dear, Osman getting knocked out here. Rushed it too far ahead. Rushed it too far ahead there. Ace they're blitzing about. Gets another T-34, but the Osman's lost. It is lost. Doomed course. Tiger Ace then blitzes away though, kind of cover of smoke, trying to avoid here the Russians and their angry hordes. Field guns moving in there. T-34's pursuing as well here. We got an MD4 to the spawn from a nearby window. Send the armor please now to do a bit of extra damage here, but oh, good hit there from the edge of the field guns. Still MD4 needs to get out of there, needs to get out of there before it collapses under the fire of the T-34. With another, oh, too late, another loss there for Jamin. 1st Panzer Division is certainly bleeding out here in the face of the Russians. He's now down to a rather smaller force, and again he can't easily replace any losses. That's really what makes it the worst thing here for Jamin. Again, with the Tiger Ace on the field, becomes so much harder for him to replace any losses he suffers. Denchips, of course, on the other hand, has pretty much no issues there. He can easily replace any contact source lost, he can replace tanks lost. I mean, hell, he doesn't have to spend manpower, he can just go for rapid conscription if it becomes necessary. But he's actually yet to use it. But there you go, hard work on the T-34. Oh, not the T-34, but the Tiger Ace here. Denchips going most of the map here, certainly looking rougher for Jamin. Well, I was, really had a good start there, but again, failed to I think, carry it off with the best momentum. Constance pushed back there. All pioneers are running to repair the Tiger Ace, protecting moving ahead. They can't afford to sit back for much longer, of course, he realises. And Denchips there can soon go for another T-34 from 60. Certainly gone for quite a few there versus Jamin. Can you see going for being targeted here with the T-34, some easy targets. Of course, got a T-34 going. There he goes, quickly blitzing it to get in time. He got Panther Pass off there. Damn it, engine. Should allow the T-34 or the Tiger Ace to finish it. Not sure why he insisted calling that a T-34.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And there you go, hunting down the T-34 from 6 there with its 88mm gun. Down to less than half health there. A few more hits. It's going to go down. We got a T-34 which quick few threats to get behind it.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Penetrating it, the T-34 from 6 up close, and there you go. Got the T-34. Venture to the flank behind the Tiger Ace. Need to be careful, need to be careful. Got the field guns coming up from the south of the Tiger Ace. Quickly a lot on top. That's going to be 3 field guns. Firing into the rear. There we go. Several penetrating hits in the Tiger Ace. Need to get away from there. Another hit, and so close there. So close to losing the Tiger Ace on the spot there. Blitzes away for further distance. Things are certainly looking rough here for Jamin. Looking very rough. He's going to try and go for that T-34, isn't he? He's going to push his luck further with the Ace. They almost got it, but the problem is there's a lot of field guns moving up there. One wrong movement and that Tiger Ace is going to go up in flames. There you go. T-Fed fall down. Pop smoke. But the problem is they can shoot through the ruins of the attack rounds. Concussive grenades to stop them. Clears one of the field guns as well. Grenades almost fucked up. But he's going to try and stick about. And he's going to try and knock out the field guns through the ruins. Almost got one, then he's lost another unit there. Got another field gun recruit. Jamin's really pushing his luck there. 24 kills to the Tiger Race. Conscripts, anything he's bring about here. He's really trying to push it as far as he can, but he loses the Tiger Race there to the field gun. With that, Jamin's hopes are gone.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
He gets a lot of his resources back, the promise, but now his force is broken. And Denchips can quickly flood the field with more. So there you go. Game over, GG there, brutal fight. I think, again, nice to see a T3 rush there from a very player. The problem was, again, in execution, the issue was the timing there. He couldn't quite, fast get up the tech, then build up. I also think stood a much stronger chance. Factoring that great tactical mistake there with the 2 tanks he first had there, around here. That was a big mistake there by Jamin. I think that sort of allowed Denchips to much more easily get back into the fight. Otherwise, I think Jamin would have stood a good chance there versus Denchips. Denchips, on the other hand, I think handled himself quite nicely. Could have done with a lot of mines in that regard. He didn't, I think, use mines enough. They could also use his doctor a bit more at certain points and maybe take that a bit faster himself. But overall, I would say nice play there by Denchips, and also to an extent, nice play by Jam. But again, there were a few issues there to overall mark the overall game. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gives you different matches. If it did, want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in reply and provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.